Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. It is 1.13 pre-release number 5 and you might be wondering where was pre-release 4? We didn't hear about it on your channel. Well, I have a second channel and sometimes I don't have a lot of time to make these videos and I happen to upload a quick video about it on my second channel. There'll probably be a card on the screen if you want to know the details from that one. Now this first change in pre-release 5 that we're going to talk about is a huge one, something I've been waiting to see fixed for a long time. I think this has been a bug in the game since 1.9 or 1.10, but these mobs stopped spawning naturally. I'm not sure if they stopped in all circumstances, but they became very rare, and what would happen is that the rider mod would disappear. So sometimes in the nether or in a cave you might find a random chicken on its own, and that's because the bug meant that the riding mob, the one on top, wasn't actually there, or the passenger mob is probably what we'd call it now, right? This has been fixed in this one, which means out there in caves in the wild, these mob combos should be spawning again. This update comes with some renaming. This happens every now and then. Things like entities and items get renamed to keep the game nice and consistent. So if we were to try and summon an evocation illager, you can see it's now just known as the evoker. Another entity we're familiar with was the vindication illager, and it's now just the vindicator. These are just a couple of examples. We had XP bottles and XP orbs, which are now known as experience bottles and experience orbs. And here's a big one. We used to have the villager golem. It's finally been renamed to the iron golem. Which is pretty cool. Now there are some items that have changed as well. If I go into here and search for bark blocks, which were recently added, you can no longer search for them because they're not known as bark blocks anymore. They're actually just known as wood blocks, right? Oak wood, acacia wood, you can see the original is known as a log. So that means that the strip type right here is now just known as stripped acacia wood. This one, for example, is stripped birch log. Another one here that's been renamed, mob spawner, is now just spawner. You can see here evoker, spawn egg instead of having illager in there, and popped chorus fruit I think used to be chorus fruit popped, which is a bit of a strange way to name it. This also applies to play sounds as well. There's actually a ton of these. The magma cube one here used to not have an underscore in between it, so if you're a map maker there's probably loads of commands you need to go and update for all of these renamed things. If you would like to see the full list of things that have been renamed, I'll link to a Reddit post in the description box down below. So over here I've built the most beautiful aquarium you've ever seen in your life, I know, it's a work of art, and in here I'm just going to put in some cods to demonstrate. Well, actually I can't demonstrate it because it's been fixed, but these cods, if swimming in the top block of water here, with a block above, they would have taken damage. So right now all of those cods would have been taking damage and dying. Of course, if you had an aquarium in your base, that would have been pretty awful. So nice little bug fix there. These guys aren't going to take damage when they're in water and there's a block above. For the next part of this video, we look at a chart that was submitted to the bug tracker. This is the distribution of ores in Minecraft 1.12.2, and clicking over here, we have it from 18WOB snapshot. Can you spot the difference? The distribution is significantly lower, and I remember reading a bug fix about this being fixed, but apparently it is not so. There is still a very stingy ore distribution both in the overworld and the nether that is supposedly fixed in this pre-release number 5. So whoever made these charts, I hope they do their test again, because it would be really nice to make sure that that is 100% fixed before this update comes out. So we have a dispenser, we've got a slab that is waterlogged. We can see that by pressing F3 and looking at the green text on the right of the screen there. If I go ahead and put a bucket into this dispenser and then power it, it's going to remove that water and it picks it up right here. And guess what? Previously it wasn't doing that. It was actually removing the block as well, which is an obvious bug, one that has been fixed. And this might come in useful when doing some redstone contraptions and stuff, but it's certainly removing the block is a little bit silly. So nice to see that one get fixed. We are going to need to use this dispenser again, but just first of all I'm going to go and bone meal some grass and stand inside of it and try and throw an ender pearl, which in previous versions of this game would have teleported you to the exact same spot because this is a block. However, that little fix right there also meant that other types of entities could shoot through a block as well. And this also allowed you, I think, to fire a dispenser projectile through another block. So let's go and put a block in front of it. Let's put in some arrows. And I'd actually seen this in a previous version myself, that the arrow would fly through that block. And this would allow something like a blaze to stand behind a wall, fire at the player, and actually shoot through it. But as you can see here, the entity is now getting stuck inside of that block, which is a very important fix. This update also comes with an update to the launcher as well, which we're looking at. There are two new features here. One of them is hidden inside of settings, and it allows you to sort your profiles rather than by last played but by name. So alphabetical order. I love that. That'll allow me to order things the way I want them to be ordered, because I can of course label them 1 to 9 and then put them in my own custom order as well. It doesn't seem to have worked on that screen right there. Or this one over here, maybe I need to restart the launcher for it to do that. But over here, the other new feature is simply this copy right here. Extremely useful, because if ever you're playing modded and you need to update it or you want to clone it, there's usually a bunch of settings here you want to copy across, right? And by clicking on the copy button, you've already got this new one ready to go with all of those settings there. So that's pretty awesome. Well, there's some funkiness I didn't expect to see, but I've come to the end for a very good reason. There's a bug that's pretty critical. If you were updating your world from 1.12 to 1.13 in pre-release 3 and up, the Ender Dragon would respawn, which might be bad for you if you built stuff in the end and you didn't plan on respawning it again. So they're getting on top of all of these bugs. It's good stuff, but still no idea when the next update is coming out. And if you didn't catch pre-release 4, as I said earlier in the video, there'll be a link to it in the description box or on the screen, something like that. Because it was on my second channel. Anyway, that is it from me at this update video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like. It helps support the channel. As always, thanks for that support. And I'll see you soon with another Minecraft update video. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.